Yeah, Justin, how's the hand doing?
It's doing well, thank you.
You hit it on the final drive of the Patriots game?
I'd have to look back. I can't remember quite when it happened.
Okay, so you felt fine during practice, nothing like it wasn't there?
Building up to the week.
Yeah, during the week you felt okay, there was no, I guess, soreness or anything?
It looked like it was on that final drive on the completion of Jalen, and was it like your middle finger? Or did you, like where was the pain in the hand?
It was just one of those weird things that you look down and it didn't feel quite right. But it's been good and had a good week of practice, so no issues since.
And then you also hit a helmet in the Chiefs game, and had something after that. Was there any relation there, or that had fully healed by the time you played the Patriots game?
Shoot, that was so long. I can't quite remember even the Chiefs one. It just hit it on a helmet and it's recovered since then, so it's been good.
Justin, when you look at the Eagles' defense, what do they do well, and how are you guys hoping to exploit them?
Yeah, they've got a really great front seven. They rush the passer very well. They disrupt the quarterback, and they've done a great job of stopping the run as well. And they've got some really good cover guys too. So it's a full team on defense, and it requires us to have a good week of practice preparation, so we have any chance on Sunday.
What's your takeaway from the last couple of weeks against New England and week before, and how do you move forward from those two games?
As tough as it may be, there's a lot of good film to watch, and you have to get better. And thankfully, it's a long season, and we're not going to let 2 games get us down. And it's all about coming back and handling adversity. And I think the guys have done a great job of handling that this week and showing up to practice and giving their best effort. And it might not go our way, but that's going to happen. That's the NFL football, and I think we've done a great job of responding to that. So I'm really excited to see what we can do.
Justin, Brandon talked a lot about how it's still a learning process for you. You're still a young quarterback. You've only made 22 starts. For you, how do you balance that? Like knowing that you're going to have to learn some things, you're going to see some things for the first time as you go through this process, but also the competitor in you that wants to throw for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and win every single game. Like how do you balance that?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think playing quarterback and especially being in the NFL, it's all about getting better. And there are going to be times where I make a lot of mistakes and throw interceptions and incompletions, and you don't want to do that. You don't have to go through that, but it's going to have to happen, and to learn from those. And hopefully you don't make the same mistake twice. And I think that's what Shane Day and I have talked about all the time. And obviously it's not going to go your way. Like adversity is going to happen, and it's all about how you react to it. And kind of like I mentioned earlier, I think the guys have done a great job responding to it. And it's a long NFL season. If you let one team beat you again, you're going to have a tough season. So it's all about bouncing back and attacking each week as they come.
Justin, how similar is the defense that Philly runs compared to the defense that the Chargers run here? And have you been able to, going against the guys on a daily basis in practice, do you think that can help going into Sunday?
I think it is a huge benefit, being able to see kind of the similarities between the two. They've got some different personnel, and that front seven they've got is really impressive, like I mentioned earlier. And they've done a great job of disrupting the passer and getting a pass rush. All the teams that you've seen them play, they've done a good job getting to the passer. And so we've had to have a good week of preparation in the protection plan, seeing coverages, in film. But like I said, they're impressive defense.
Justin, you mentioned after the Patriots game that you didn't utilize the checkdowns enough in that game. How do you kind of balance going for the checkdown and taking your deep shots as well?
Well, the check down is a second option. That's a last resort option, and you're going to do everything you can to push the ball downfield. But if everything's covered, you find your check down and try and get 4 or 5 yards. And that's one of the things about playing quarterback is being able to see these guys get depth. And if they're all covered, instead of throwing it away or getting sacked, throw the ball to the running back and make something happen.
Have you noticed teams at all this year trying to take the deep part of the field away more than maybe last year and sort of forcing you to look for those checkdowns and underneath routes, maybe in a way that they weren't last year, or is that?
Yeah, I think they've done a good job of kind of putting a roof over it, and I think we need to do a better job of executing. And there are definitely options there, and that's when you watch the film the following day and you say, you know what, I could have hit this guy, could have put it here. But I feel like it's up to us to execute better, and we're doing a good job of seeing what they're bringing and doing that and protecting it. And it's all about executing and all being on the same page with Keenan, Mike, Jalen. But I trust those guys completely, and so I know that we're going to keep putting in the work so that we're there whenever that may happen.
So when being on the road, is there a greater emphasis to run the football more being on the road?
I think that's by each individual game plan. If we have to throw the ball 50 times or if we have to run the ball 60 times, that's what we're going to have to do. And you kind of have to scout and game plan the other team. And the coaches have done a great job working all week of providing us with a game plan. And whatever that may be on Sunday, we're going to do our best to follow it.
I think we all know the answer to this, but I'll ask anyway. Is your confidence at all shaken from the last couple of games?
No, it's, obviously I don't want to make mistakes, but it's going to happen. It's all about how you react. And I can look back to high school, college, of throwing picks and losing games. But, if you don't learn from those, you don't get any better. And I think going through those mistakes, and unfortunately as they are, you have to learn from them. And we've got a great coaching staff who've helped me kind of look through those and watch the film. And, it might be a tough film session watching those mistakes, but it's going to help you in the long run. And the guys, the coaching staff, they all believe in one another. So it's been a great process so far of learning.
Justin, just going back to a specific play from the Patriots team, that 2nd and 1 where you took the sack, Trey McKitty ran in the flat, you had Keenan on the stick route, and you took the sack. Just curious, what did you see on that play that in the decision not to go to Keenan there?
Yeah, I got lost behind the offensive line, and they had 3 guys right in front of me, and I couldn't see Keenan, I couldn't see the defenders, and so I could have thrown it to him, and watching the film, as painful as it is, I could have hit him, but I didn't see the defenders, and I didn't want to force something downfield. Thought I could get back to the check down, it got covered up, so unfortunately got to throw that away, but one of those things that you got to learn from.
And so how much is that in your mind, just protecting the football? Like in those situations where you say, okay, Keenan might be open, but the last thing I want to do here is throw an interception. Like how much of a factor is that when you're making those types of quick decisions?
Yeah, it's huge. You got to be able to see the defenders, and one of the things that Pep Hamilton actually taught me last year is no late throws over the middle, and I kind of considered that a late throw over the middle, and I couldn't see the defender. I didn't want to force anything downfield, but I have to find a way to step up in the pocket, see him because he was open, and I've got to be able to hit him.
Justin, I know it's been a lot of pocket pressure the last couple of games, but do you feel like you're kind of rushing out there, rushing some of those throws at times, or do you feel you've been okay with that?
No, I don't think. I think we've done a good job of finding our guys and finding checkdowns, and we've been able to move the ball. And it's unfortunate that we've been able to turn the ball over a couple of times, but that's the learning process that you have to learn through and you have to go through. And I've thought very highly of our receivers and those running backs, tight ends, making plays and getting upfield. I think they've done an incredible job.
Justin, those personal connections you make throughout the course of your career, year 2, you get to see Hunter before the game in New England. You'll see Shane Steichen on Sunday. What was that moment with Hunter like, and what do you think it's going to be like to see Shane, knowing that both of those guys were really instrumental in getting your career off to a good start?
Yeah, it's really cool. Huge fans of those guys, and I was a big fan of Hunter Henry before I got there, and even bigger one after I met him. And he's one of those guys that I'm going to cheer for and root for as long as he's playing, and hopefully we've got that connection for many years to come. And same thing with Shane Steichen. We got super close last year, and it's unfortunate when a coaching staff has to move on, but I'm going to support him and be there for him for years to come too.
And, on the play that Daniel's asking about, when you say you couldn't see the defenders, you mean the defenders who might have been on Keenan?
Correct, yeah. So I was behind the offensive line, couldn't see Keenan or the defenders, didn't know what was over there, so tried to find the check down, but couldn't.